At 7, cancellation chaos continues. A lot of Southwest passengers are still stranded at airports across the country, including here in Chicago. We're live with what the CEO is saying ahead of another busy travel weekend.
A winter warm-up will start melting that Christmas snow on the ground. How high will our temperatures climb?
And breaking news from the Vatican, why the current Pope is asking for prayers for his predecessor, Pope Benedict, as we welcome you on this Wednesday morning.
Live from Chicago's #1 news, ABC7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Happy Hump Day. I'm Tanya Babich.
I'm Diane Patthew. Terrell and Val have the day off today. Streaming later this hour, we're live with an expert who's talking about the hot jobs that will be in demand in 2023. That's coming up around 7:45 this morning. But first, outside we go. Talk about the forecast. It is 30 degrees. This time yesterday was right around 9 degrees. Yeah. And Phil, what did you just say before we were tossing it to you? What'd you say?
Operation Snowmelt?
I love it.
Yeah.
They got a lot of snow to melt in some parts of the country.
In some parts. Around here, not so much. We'll probably be done with any snow cover by about this time tomorrow morning, as temperatures tonight will hold steady in the lower 40s. Look at the highs today. 44 today. 52 tomorrow. This will be the first time warmer than normal since December 15th. And if we get above 53 tomorrow night, which is quite possible, it would be the warmest day of the month. It will turn somewhat cooler, though, as we head through the day Friday and this weekend, with highs back down into the lower 40s. 28 in Bolingbrook, 30 in Elmhurst, 26 in Elgin, 30 at both O'Hare and Midway. So there we go into the lower 40s to mid 40s today. The clouds really thicken up tonight. Nothing more than a little drizzle tomorrow. Highs in the lower 50s. Best chance of rain comes with a weak cold front. That approaches before daybreak on Friday. Look at these temperatures, though. Mid to upper 50s. That moves out. Temperatures will fall through the day on Friday. We'll have your extended outlook coming up in a few minutes from now. Back to you guys.
Well, Phil, we're going to take a look at this crash on 57 inbound. It's been there most of the morning. This happened where a semi struck a light pole, went across all lanes, and struck the median wall. Now we're not seeing any delays through that stretch. So that's the good news. And really, that's our only incident. There's that light pole that was knocked down in this morning's crash. And nice clear roads. The rest of the roads, as we said, looking pretty good. Just a little tight inbound on the Bishop Ford, right around the Stony Island feeder, 103rd, inbound Stevenson ramp to the inbound Dan Ryan. That's slow. Got the crash in Elgin. This is at the intersection of State and Wing Streets. Also, as you are traveling through Lake County, have a new crash in North Chicago, Lewis Avenue, north of MLK. Tanya and Diane.
Jeremy, thank you. We continue to follow breaking news from the Vatican. Pope Francis asking the Catholic faithful to pray for Pope Emeritus Benedict. Francis described his predecessor as very sick, but didn't exactly elaborate. He made the announcement near the end of his weekly audience. Benedict resigned as pontiff back in February of 2013, becoming the first pope to do so in 600 years. The 95-year-old lives in a convent on Vatican grounds. The travel chaos at Southwest Airlines continues today. The airline has scrubbed thousands of flights for today and nearly 1,400 already for tomorrow.
No timetable for when order might be restored to the mangled schedule there, and the chaos can be seen at Midway and also at airports across the country. Dozens of airports dealing with a sea of luggage as gate agents work to get thousands of people onto other flights. ABC7's Christian Picos is live at Midway with all that baggage behind him. Christian.
And Diane and Tani, to put this situation into perspective for you, 91% of all canceled flights today in the United States are Southwest Airlines flights, including hundreds of flights already canceled today right here at Midway Airport. And check it out, that sea of unclaimed baggage stretches for at least 3 baggage claim carousels here at Midway Airport. We have seen a couple of passengers trickle in so far to somehow search through this baggage to find their luggage. Now, it's been nothing short of a holiday travel nightmare for Southwest passengers and employees alike. Data from FlightAware shows that as of Monday, nearly 4,000 Southwest flights have been canceled, with another 7,700 flights being delayed. Some passengers have slept at Midway, exhausted and frustrated, trying to rebook flights that may not leave for days. The airline's CEO says he is, quote, truly sorry for the substantial issues, while passengers we spoke with this morning say they slept at the Orlando, Florida airport after having a flight to Chicago canceled 3 times.
It's been stressed out because We were supposed to leave Monday and then get back till this morning, Wednesday, and we'd have no luggage. We were sleeping at the airport the first night, and then our second night, once we found out Tuesday our flight was canceled, we slept at a hotel.
Our plan for the next few days is to fly a reduced schedule and reposition our people and planes, and we're making headway, and we're optimistic to be back on track before next week.
The Department of Transportation tweeted that it's now looking into whether Southwest's cancellations were controllable and if the airline is complying with its own customer service plan. Back here live at Midway, we know that over 230 flights have already been canceled as of this morning, with at least a dozen others delayed. Diane and Tanya, back to you.
Christian, thanks so much. Live from Midway, Southwest, drawing unwanted attention to itself from lawmakers in D.C. and politicians here in Illinois. In Congress, the Senate Commerce Committee promises an investigation. 2 Senate Democrats have called on Southwest to provide significant compensation for stranded travelers, saying that the airline has more than enough money because it plans to pay $428 million in dividends next month. Governor Pritzker here at home tweeting in part, quote, "I have spoken with Secretary Buttigieg to express the frustration of thousands of Illinoisans who have been stranded and missed out on quality time with their families or who have had to call off of work because they couldn't make it back home." He also urged Southwest to be proactive in communicating openly and honestly with customers about the rebooking of future flights and what the airline will be able to handle in the days and weeks ahead. Now, if you are impacted by any of these flight cancellations, you have rights, and we've created a link for you at ABC7Chicago.com.
New this morning, we have learned a man who was shot in Oak Park has died. Police think it was a targeted shooting last night, and there's no danger to the general public. The victim was found outside a laundromat at 14 Chicago Avenue. Police identify the victim as 27-year-old Chicago resident Dennis Johnson.
Residents of a Hyde Park apartment building waiting to find out when the power will be restored and when they can go back inside their homes. The Algonquin apartments have been without electricity and heat since Friday. One mother tells us she huddled with her daughter trying to stay warm. Some tenants say before building management offered hotel vouchers, they actually had to sleep in their cars. A woman who did not want to be identified said she and her disabled son are just waiting to find out when they can go back home.
It's just a mess. I'm just trying to get it together day by day, and all I can do is pray about it and hope something comes through.
Last night, Tenants United of Hyde Park and Woodlawn reached out to residents to take action.
Water covered the floor at Chicago's main post office yesterday. Retail operations are temporarily suspended because of a water main break. U.S. postal officials say they are assessing the damage at the South Loop facility. Water flowed outside, freezing on the steps, which were blocked off because of the danger. And now to the battle over migrants at the nation's southern border. An important part of it is headed to the Supreme Court. That part is what's called Title 42, the Trump-era policy that cleared the way for expelling at least 2.5 million asylum seekers from the U.S. The court says it should remain law for now. ABC's Justin Finch has more on the court's decision.
This morning, President Biden's first reaction to the Supreme Court decision keeping Title 42 in place until the court reconvenes next year to decide the policy's long-term future.
In the meantime, we have to enforce it, but I think it's overdue.
The pandemic-era policy allows border officials to expel asylum seekers on public health grounds. The policy was set to expire last week, but Republican-led states appealed to uphold it, arguing without Title 42, a flood of migrants will overwhelm the border. Homeland Security warning that 18,000 migrants could cross the border every day. In El Paso, migrants are sleeping in the streets, enduring the cold, some sleeping under wet blankets.
If they continue to get in without being undetected, we're going to continue to have this population grow within our community. And so that is concerning.
The city recently declared an emergency. Large tents are now being built to handle the influx. These satellite images taken just 5 days apart last week show the rapid construction of one facility designed to house 1,000 migrants. The Biden administration saying it's also added thousands of personnel at the border. But critics on both sides of the political aisle acknowledge whatever eventually happens to Title 42 next year, the problem on the border won't be solved until Congress takes action to reform the immigration system.
That was Justin Finch reporting. Another co-leader in the plot to kidnap Michigan's governor will be sentenced today. Barry Croft Jr. is due in federal court today. Prosecutors are recommending a life prison sentence. That's also what they recommended for co-conspirator Adam Fox. Fox was sentenced to 16 years in federal prison yesterday. The FBI broke up that plot in 2020, and Governor Whitmer was not harmed. Former President Donald Trump's tax returns expected to be released on Friday by the House Ways and Means Committee. That's according to a congressional aide who spoke on the condition of anonymity. The Democratic-controlled committee voted last week to release Mr. Trump's returns with some redactions of sensitive information, such as Social Security numbers and contact information.
President Joe Biden is vacationing in the U.S. Virgin Islands. The president and first lady arrived in St. Croix last night. They'll ring in the new year with family on the island. Mr. Biden spent the holidays at his home in Delaware in 2020 and 2021, mostly because of the COVID-19 pandemic. This week's visit to St. Croix will be his first as president to the U.S. Virgin Islands. President Biden is set to return to Washington January 2nd. The Mega Millions jackpot grows this morning.
There was no big winner last night, so now it grows to at least $640 million for Friday night's drawing. Here are the winning numbers in case you missed them. The numbers were 9, 13, 36, 59, and 61 with the Mega Ball at 11. So if you didn't win, obviously, the big prize, which no one did, you could have won something smaller, let's say $1 million, because a couple people did. So check those tickets. You're live in local news, just getting started as we stream out loud this morning. Coming up, the new honor for actress Juanita Moore, who helped pave the way for other Black performers in Hollywood.
First, Phil has your AccuWeather forecast. He's tracking a winter warm-up with a chance of wet weather next.
Well, good morning, everyone. We have a big change heading our way. Low to mid 40s today, warmest day in at least 2 weeks, and that's just the beginning. Lower 50s for highs both tomorrow and Friday, but during the day Friday, temperatures will actually fall. So low to mid 40s for this New Year's Eve, New Year's Day weekend with maybe some light rain. But look at the 8 to 14 day outlook. Those darker red shows where temperatures will most likely be above normal, and that does encompass our area. So likely we will see above normal readings right through January 10th. Today's high of 44 degrees, some 10 degrees above average. The low this morning getting down to 25, but we're already up to 30 in Cicero, Elmhurst, Oak Lawn, 27 in Crete, 30 right now in Gurnee. Look back toward west, Kansas City up to 40, Des Moines up to 36. That southerly wind continues to push temperatures up. Most of these are high, thin clouds. We will see some sun through the clouds, but there is this frontal boundary back to the west. Now, the warm front will continue to lift north. We'll continue to see the south-southwest flow. Sunny to partly cloudy today, a high of 44. Clouds thicken up tonight. Nothing more than a little drizzle tomorrow, a high of 52. And then this front approaches. That could bring us some showers before daybreak Friday. There you see some of that activity. That moves off to the east during the day Friday as temperatures fall behind this front. A high of 51 early in the day, but falling through the 40s pretty quickly as we head through the midday hours of Friday. Temperatures remain mild. Again, a little cooler for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, but we're still talking lower 40s for highs and then back into the low to mid 50s by next Tuesday. Jeremy.
We're getting reports of another structure fire, this time in the Niles area. It's the 8400 block of Northwestern Avenue. So expect some additional delays on Greenwood as crews arrive there on the scene. We're hearing it's reports of a townhouse fire. Other than that, we're seeing bigger delays than we saw yesterday. There's the inbound Dan Ryan. See the express lane's a little tight as you're approaching the Stevenson. A couple of flashing lights up there right around the Chinatown feeder ramp. We'll investigate, see what's going on there. But you see outbound, that's flowing well so far this morning, and we are seeing more delays headed into the downtown area a little bit later than what we saw yesterday. We really didn't. The only delays we saw yesterday were as you were approaching any crash scene. Unfortunately, that 55 the decal is hiding the delay over the inbound Dan Ryan, over the Stevenson. You're also seeing a slight delay inbound on the Bishop Ford approaching the Dan Ryan, but really no crashes slowing you down just yet, as everything's been either picked up or moved off to the shoulder. Tollways are looking nice and light, and if you are headed to O'Hare or Midway, both of those are looking good. Tanya and Diane.
Thank you, Jeremy. In 2023, an injustice is set to be corrected along the Hollywood Walk of Fame when Juanita Moore finally gets her own star, more than a dozen years after her death. She paved the way for other black performers in Hollywood, but as a new documentary makes clear, Moore never got the recognition she so richly deserved. Here's ABC's Sandy Kenyon.
I'm available. You? Me.
Juanita Moore earned an Oscar nomination back in 1959 and made more than 70 movies. But her name isn't familiar to a younger generation.
Her legacy was she persevered. She kept going. She never stopped.
Kirk Kellycon is her grandson, and his movie is called A Star Without a Star because along the Hollywood Walk of Fame, there is no mention of her. An injustice that's due to be corrected soon, thanks in large part to this documentary.
I'm glad that she will be getting one, and I'm glad that we did persevere with the film, but I just think that it should have been much sooner.
The obstacles he faced getting her a star mirrored his grandmother's own fight in the 1950s, a fight shared by the late Sidney Poitier.
You had to behave in a certain stereotypical way in order to find a job, to get a job, to hold a job. So it was slow going.
After Moore was nominated for playing a maid in Imitation of Life, she made a decision.
I didn't want to carry the trays anymore.
So Moore refused to play any more maids. And the result was she didn't work for a year.
That was horrible. What it says about Hollywood is that they couldn't break the stereotype. You have an Oscar nomination and okay, well, we're just going to keep her as a maid.
And yet Moore still managed to break through.
Sister Ann.
She's one of the people that not only looked like me, but made me proud to look like me.
She was a pioneer in a time and a place where this was not allowed.
I love you so much.
Sandy Kenyon, ABC News, New York.
Gosh, look at that smile.
Beautiful. And I really want to see that documentary. It just sounds fantastic. So happy for her.
Well, still to stream this morning, the Rainbow Push Coalition is preparing for its annual scholarship breakfast. We have more on the effort to give local students the tools they need to be the next generation of leaders in technology. Ahead.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
One lucky couple received the first marriage license for 2023 here in Cook County. County Clerk Karen Yarbrough conducted a lottery-style drawing.
Oh my goodness, look! It's Daniel Ferguson and Mandy Fila! Yay!
We giggle every time at her enthusiasm. It's adorable. The lucky couple was chosen yesterday from a group of 75 engaged couples. In addition to scoring the coveted first marriage license, they also get a variety of donated prizes from Chicago businesses.
The week-long celebration of Kwanzaa continues today. Malcolm X College hosted a celebration yesterday with the focus on self-determination for the second day of Kwanzaa. The holiday is a time for people of African descent to reflect on their culture and values. Today's focus is on collective work and responsibility. Kwanzaa continues through January 1st, and there are more events to mark Kwanzaa today. In Chicago, the DuSable Black History Museum and Education Center has a special program this morning. There's a story time for children and an all-day marketplace with goods and vendors. The North Austin branch of the Chicago Public Library is hosting a family craft time to celebrate Kwanzaa beginning at 3 for children ages 3 and older. And over in Flossmoor, another candle on the Canara will be lit this afternoon at 5 at Flossmoor Park.
The Rainbow Push Coalition is planning its annual scholarship breakfast to honor the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
The 33rd annual MLK Scholarship Breakfast will be held on January 16th. Executives from Rainbow Push previewed the breakfast by highlighting the success of the corporate fundraising events and efforts tied into that event. More than $8 million have gone towards supporting thousands of students of color at colleges and universities since 1991. It really is a very, very cool event, a fun event. I've been to it many times. Yeah, it's very inspiring, and it makes you feel so good when you walk out. Right now, we're going to connect with our Good Morning America viewers.
I will have an update for you on TV in just a little bit, and you'll see it here as well.
And when we come back, we'll have more on the important tax deadline for property owners.
Now, an update from ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning. It's 7:23. I'm Tanya Babich. Some 2,500 Southwest flights. 2,500 Southwest Air flights are already canceled in the U.S. today, including hundreds at Midway. More than 90% of the overall canceled flights today are Southwest flights, according to FlightAware. It has been nothing short of a holiday travel nightmare for Southwest passengers and employees alike. Passengers are left having to somehow find their bags in carousels. You saw that video there. We know at least 230 Southwest flights at Midway are canceled. A dozen more are delayed. Let's get a look at the roads. Here is traffic with Jeremy Scott.
And Tanya, we are seeing Southwest service inbound train number 810 canceled due to mechanical issues. That comes from Manhattan. Train number 812 will accommodate those passengers stranded. And if you're headed to O'Hare Midway, it's actually not too bad on the 190 or on Cicero. Rest of your roads are looking good. Just a couple of delays like inbound on the Damrosch Express lanes approaching the Stevenson. Phil has your forecast after a short break.
Now's the time for a healthy start. So let's move. Let's rest and recharge. And put our health first. Let's be well. To do that, let's eat well. Breathe deep. Find joy in the little moments. And do what we love with who we love. Together, let's live well. Advocate Aurora Health.
Good morning, everyone. Our thaw is just about to get underway. We're up to 30 at O'Hare, Midway, and downtown. 26 for you folks in St. Charles. We got a little bit of wind out there, so wind chills are in the mid-teens to around 20 degrees. So still a bit chilly, but nowhere near as cold as the last couple of days. And look at the high this afternoon. With sunny to partly cloudy skies, the thaw begins. The high temperature up to 44 today. You think that's warm, and it will be a little bit breezy. Look at the high tomorrow, 52. Overcast, nothing more than some patchy drizzle. There will be some showers late Thursday night into Friday. Friday's high 51, but that happens relatively early in the day, and then temperatures will start to fall. So as you can see, today's high 42 to 45, but the extended outlook lower 40s for the holiday weekend with maybe a little light rain.
Nice to see some blue skies out there on a Wednesday morning. 31 degrees to start the day, and we're going up from there. Weather in a bit, but first, the deadline to pay the second installment of property taxes in Cook County is Friday. Late payments are charged 1.5% per month, as is required by Illinois law. The Cook County Treasurer says the most efficient way to pay is online, but you can also pay at a participating bank or by mailing a check. It must be postmarked by Friday.
Coming up this morning as we continue to stream out loud, a look back at some of the viral sensations of 2022. Who do you think broke the internet?
Plus, singer Paula Abdul is taking heat for a recent photo that she posted online, while some fans are calling her out.
You're watching ABC7 Eyewitness News at 7, streaming live now.
And let's take a quick look at some of the stories we'll be watching for you today. The travel chaos at Southwest Airlines continues. The airline has scrubbed some 2,500 flights for today and nearly 1,400 for tomorrow. Dozens of airports dealing with a sea of luggage as gate agents work to get thousands of people onto another flight. Yesterday, the CEO of Southwest released a video statement saying he's truly sorry for the mass cancellations.
A Kankakee judge is expected to issue a written ruling today about the Safety Act. The law reforms Illinois' criminal justice system and eliminates cash bail starting January 1st. It is facing a constitutional challenge brought by law enforcement in more than 6 counties.
Today is day 3 of the week-long celebration of Kwanzaa. Malcolm X College hosted a celebration yesterday with a focus on self-determination for the second day. Today's focus is on collective work and responsibility. Kwanzaa continues through January 1st. We'll have full list of events happening to mark Kwanzaa on our website, abc7chicago.com. Good morning and welcome back, everybody. I'm Diane Patthew.
And I'm Tanya Babich. Let's go outside, shall we? We want to go outside today and for many days thereafter. 31 degrees out there right now. That sunrise has been just lovely this morning. And Phil, the temperatures will be as well, not just today, but your 7-day on the whole, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to feel more like November than the end of December, early January. Right now, we do have partly to mostly cloudy skies across the area. You can see the ice inside the break wall. That's really going to be breaking up during the day today and for tomorrow. 30 degrees right now at O'Hare with a south wind at 14. Few other numbers for you. McHenry here at 25, 29 in Naperville as well as in Crown Point. So we're starting out relatively mild, and where do we go from here? Well, we quickly warm above freezing, getting into the low to mid 40s, sunny and mainly partly cloudy throughout the day, and it will be breezy as well. You think today's warm, tomorrow's high 52 degrees, nothing more than some patchy drizzle. Best chance of rain comes late Thursday night into early Friday. Friday's high of 51 happens early in the day, and then temperatures fall back into the 40s. Jeremy.
Phil, some more woes on Metro, this time on the Union Pacific West line. The inbound train number 30 delayed about 20 minutes. That's all due to dispatching issues. But the rest of the roads, for the most part, looking pretty good. Seeing a new delay northbound on the Tri-State right around North Avenue. Going to find out what that is. Not hearing reports of any crashes through that stretch. If you are headed to O'Hare, we've been seeing off and on delays also on the outbound 190 headed towards the airport. There is the tollway cameras as we see 355 north and southbound right around Maple. That's flowing well. And again, other than the Tri-State, that's your only that's the tollways look like the rest of the time, Tanya and Diane.
Thank you, Jeremy. Now to what we're talking about this morning. We begin with what some are calling a filter fail. Paula Abdul getting roasted online for her recent holiday social media photo post. So have a look for yourself. The photo on the left is from September. The photo on your screen right now is from September of this year. Let's post now the photo that was put online 3 days ago.
Stop.
You know, I'm not angry. I'm not even surprised. I'm just kind of bummed. Like this is the pressure that people feel to look a particular way, to present themselves in a certain way on social media. That stinks.
Well, I said to you during the break, whoever her social media person is, like the person that's in charge of posting this stuff, should be, I mean, fired isn't even the right word.
It doesn't even look like her.
It looks like her daughter, right? It doesn't even look like, it looks like what would be her daughter. But
it looks like someone who could conceivably be my daughter.
Right, but here's the thing. Paula Abdul looks stunningly beautiful on the left. She should not, I hate that she has to feel like the filters are necessary.
And to be clear,
she makes women like us so proud. At least she makes me so proud. I mean, if I could look like that when I'm her age, I'm going to be good.
She's
60 years old,
according to our producer here. And
that looks like she's 12.
And we get it.
We do, obviously.
We live in that world too. We get it. You want, though, to have people to look up to reassure you that it's okay to age. We are encouraged to do so. It is a privilege to do so. And I totally understand the looking at the looking at your photos and like, ooh, do I really want to post this one?
But I really do want to know, Tanya, was it her? Or was it somebody from her camp?
I'm sure she has a staff.
And that's what's more depressing. Did she look at this photo before approving for post or not? Because I would like to believe
that she didn't.
Yeah,
sure.
Now, speaking of a woman who really just loves to flaunt her age, Ms. Joan Collins posing in a leopard print bathing suit on Christmas Day, the former Dynasty star. She got so many rave reviews from her Instagram followers who applauded her timeless beauty. She even snapped a moment with her husband. And she's been really gracing the big and small screens since the early 1950s. So this is, I think, a perfect example of a woman who goes, I don't care what your opinion of me is. This is what I look like. I'm 89 years old. Get over it, because I love it.
Beautiful woman.
Beautiful.
We've seen a lot of these, not a lot, but I've seen several over the last couple of weeks, these thirst trap photos of septuagenarians and octogenarians. You've got Joan Collins knowing how to look her best. Right. Martha Stewart doing the same thing. Did you see the Martha Stewart
photo?
I did. Martha?
Yeah.
Martha, what have you been baking in the kitchen?
Well, we know what she likes to bake every day. Just saying, like, some people say it just makes you feel younger and do all kinds of things.
Oh my gosh. Wow, you win the prize
All right.
this morning. Thank
now,
goodness for
to
you.
the summer blockbuster that just keeps on giving.
In promotion of the release of Top Gun Maverick on Paramount Plus, the streaming service has released a 3-hour-long loop. A 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour of what, you ask? A steamy beach football sequence in the hit sequel. Here are a few seconds of it for you. Okay. I mean, that's kind of where I am with it. Like, okay.
Yeah. No. I know I'm going to get so much hate for this, and I apologize in advance. But I don't need to see Tom Cruise, like, without a shirt. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm just good.
Like,
I
it's
just don't
not
want
even
to.
just the. I don't
Ask
even
me
think
20
Tom
years
Cruise,
ago, fine, but not today. No thanks.
I don't even think the gratuitous Tom Cruise part of it is what the point of this is. It's all the other guys, right?
I don't know.
I guess.
I don't know what the point is, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I'm good.
And this is a woman who would buys fireman calendars, and I still think this is tacky.
You buy fireman calendars because you're married to a firefighter.
But
We've
I'm
already
saying,
established that.
I am somebody who appreciates beauty in all forms, but this to me is tacky. I don't know. I just think it's tacky.
Yeah, I'm good with my honey at home.
Right? Like, just no thanks. I'm good. Okay. Top Gun Maverick, by the way, is currently streaming, as Tanya mentioned, on Paramount Plus.
Switching gears now. 2022 has been quite the year for those 1 in a million overnight viral sensations.
Of course, for most of them, viral fame didn't actually happen overnight without considerable talent and a lot of work. Here's ABC's Will Gams.
From Charlie the house horse, there he goes, to this pint-sized singer. With some serious self-confidence.
Olive, a lot of people watch your video and they wish that they could sing like you can sing.
I know, I was talking about that.
Some of this year's most viral content creators spent time creating content with us.
I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's cool.
Julian Shapiro Barnum taking us inside his wildly popular recess therapy.
The #1 rule of show business: don't work with kids and don't work with animals. That's me. And I'm gonna break all the rules. I'm gonna crack this wide open.
Recess Therapy has amassed more than 3.5 million followers on social media.
What is it about your show that is bringing people such joy? I think they're really responding to seeing something so positive on Instagram. Like, social media can be such a dark place, and I think it's been really powerful to see these little kids talking about dealing with feelings that adults are also dealing with.
Now Julian is one of Forbes 30 Under 30 honorees for 2023.
What is the key to connecting with the child? Yeah, I think listening as much as possible, meeting them where they're at, and being interested in what they're interested in.
And if you're interested in dancing, why not move with joy?
I am a 43-year-old homeschool mom who puts on bold outfits and dances in my backyard. like that's the truth.
Is your name really Joy?
It is, yeah.
Those joyful dance moves have accumulated 44 million likes on TikTok.
I hope it can be a reminder that our joy always matters. You know, it's never insignificant. It's never unimportant. It's never wrong.
And dancing can work up an appetite.
Fresh basil, garlic, pine nuts, parmigiano, and pecorino cheese.
Enter Nadia Caterina Muno, aka the Pasta Queen.
Look into its soul and whisper, just gorgeous.
Born in Rome, now living in the US, Nadia's cooked up a following of more than 3 million people on TikTok and Instagram. Nadia serving up recipes and life advice.
You are the most powerful person in your life. It's at the end of the day, it's just you and yourself. And when you start thinking like that and give yourself positive affirmations all the time, then you truly can become just gorgeous.
Now Nadia's jumping from TikTok to bookshelves with her Pasta Queen cookbook. But there's one recipe in particular we had to ask about.
Ingredients.
What is the secret behind a perfect hair flip?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just obvious. First, you gotta tell yourself that you're gorgeous. Because once you do that, and you really mean it, and you feel it within you, everything, your face, your hair, your poise, everything clicks. And then you gotta do it with a very smooth, gorgeous motion. Ingredients. I need you to practice.
There's nothing like her. I love her.
She's
gorgeous. Gorgeous.
She's enthusiastic.
I love her.
Phil, what did you think?
It's an act.
Come on. Well, who cares? She's genuinely cooking. She's showing you the recipe.
Yeah.
Who cares if she has a little pizzazz with it?
It's just an act. I don't care for it. You asked me, I told you.
I mean, we didn't care for the 3-minute long
That's
loop
true.
of shirtless men. Was it
Right.
3 minutes or 3 hours? It was
I had 3 hours,
Yeah,
whatever.
3 hours.
I like the Pasta Queen, and I
know you
would purchase her.
I like
think
that
she's
little
cute.
kid who could sing. That was adorable.
Yeah.
I like the woman who was dancing with the flowers.
Yeah.
She's happy and fun. All right, ABC7 Eyewitness News continues to stream out loud. After the break, we're back in 90 seconds.
Good morning, everyone. Well, we have quite the thaw heading our way, beginning with today. We'll make it up to 44 late today, 52 tomorrow. That high Friday happens early, and then it does cool off. But by cooling off, we're talking about lower 40s for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. That high of 44 today, some 10 degrees above the average high, which is now 34. 27 in Elgin, 28 in Bolingbrook, 30 at both the airports. You can see our satellite radar composite showing some of these high, thin clouds. They'll partially dim our sun from time to time, but we'll stay dry with those temperatures reaching the low to mid 40s. Little breezy with that south wind picking up, and then overnight the clouds thicken up, lower 50s tomorrow, nothing more than some patchy drizzle. Temperatures may actually rise a few degrees tomorrow night. Some showers become a bit more widespread 3 or 4 o'clock Friday morning. Before that activity moves off to the east, and temperatures will start to fall during the daylight hours of Friday, back down into the lower 40s. Total rainfall early Friday, most extensive from Kankakee up towards Valparaiso. Most of us less than a quarter inch of rain. And there you see the mild conditions continuing right into early next week. Jeremy.
Well, Phil, the tollways for the most part have been looking pretty good. This is the tri-state right around Roberts, either direction. Nice and light, but a lot of drivers will be heading to the airport, and we are starting to see some delays on the 190 headed into the airport on the outbound side. And Terminals 1 through 4, those are where you're the heaviest, but that's not where any of the Southwest planes are at. That's Terminal 5. We're not seeing any delays through that stretch. And really, for the most part, we're looking pretty good on our expressways and our tollways. If you're traveling to Midway, Cicero is looking nice and light. Inbound on the Eisenhower starts to stack up right around the Tri-State. And the inbound Stevenson ramp to the inbound Dan Ryan slow, and that's because the inbound Dan Ryan just a little tight around 31st. That's all due to everybody merging into the local lanes. But other than that, really, it's a great commute if you need to head out and about anywhere you need to go today. Tanya and Diane.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Jeremy. Happening today, you can get free career advice. We're joined this morning by Andy Challenger from Challenger Gray and Christmas. The firm is hosting its yearly job search hotline today. Andy, so good to see you again.
Hi, thanks for having me.
All right, let's talk about layoffs. We know that they're still happening, but it is still a good time to look for a new opportunity. Break it down.
Yeah, we have seen an increase in layoffs in a couple industries, particularly in the tech fields. But overall, it's still a pretty darn good job market. There's 10 million job openings in the country. We think it's going to slow down throughout the year. So this is a good time. If you've been out of work or you're looking to change jobs, take some action now because there's still opportunities to be had.
So what are those hot jobs? I know you said there's so many millions that are open. Who's hiring right now?
Yeah, we see a lot of hiring, of course, happening right now around the retail space, around the holidays. But going into the new year, we expect to see a lot of jobs continue to be added in the healthcare space and in business services, kind of classic white collar jobs, administration, data input entry, all those jobs in offices that need to be filled in the new year.
Okay, if I'm searching for a job, how can I jumpstart my search in the new year?
No, we recommend calling in today to our hotline from 9 to 5 to get some personal advice from a professional job search expert. If you've been out of the workforce for some time or you're just looking to move up, we suspend all of our business operations yesterday and today, so people around the country can call in to get some personal advice on their resumes, go through tough interview questions with a pro, or just put together a strategy for how you're going to re-enter the job force after being away for some time.
Of course, I think this next question is super important. How should you present yourself during an interview?
Yeah, and you want to come across as confident that you're going to be able to help the person who's potentially hiring you in their job, but also like you're going to be a coworker they want to spend time with 7 hours a day for 5 to 10 years, right? There's a lot of personal connection that you need to make with somebody in that interview process.
Okay, I know this might be a hard question, but I know you're the person to ask it. What is this labor market? What is it going to look like, you think, jumping into 2023?
I do think it's going to continue to slow down. We've been at a historically hot labor market, more job openings than at any point in American history over the last 5 months. It's going to cool down from there as the economy continues to cool down. If we go into a recession, it could get much worse. So that's why when I'm talking to people saying the iron is hot, this is the time to strike, it's probably not going to be better at the end of the next year than it is today.
And what about advice for job seekers?
Yeah, if you're going out and looking for a job right now, I would say avoid spending lots of your time sending emails or trying to connect with people through LinkedIn. It's really in-person connections that end up driving real referrals and real job opportunities. So call people up, old coworkers, people that you know in industries that you want to work in, and try to get a cup of coffee and connect with them in a real way.
I mean, you know how it works like that in this city. It's all about who you know, and that's in a lot of jobs too. But speaking of LinkedIn, so many people use that to sort of connect with people they haven't connected with in a long, long time. So if you are to go the online route, how do you make yourself stand out?
Yeah, it is a super valuable tool. It's how you know where everybody is and how you find connections into companies you want to work for. You can send them little notes, but I would say the goal of each one of those notes should be to get to have a 15-minute conversation. Just ask them if they would tell you a little bit about their career and their path to that company so you can make some real connection, even if it's over the phone or Zoom, preferably in person.
Andy, always good to talk to you. Thank you so much. That's Andy Challenger with Challenger Gray and Christmas. Thank you so much for waking up early and sharing your advice with us this morning. Again, you can get that free career advice from 9 to 5 today. Take advantage of it. If you're interested, the firm's expert coaches will provide the most up-to-date advice on how to navigate the job market. Challenger Grain Christmas. Here it is, the info. Job search hotline today, 9 to 5. And there is the information for you to call in. We have all the information for you on our website at abc7chicago.com. We're back in 90 seconds. Final preparations are well underway to ring in the new year at Times Square, New York. The Waterford crystal ball that will drop at midnight is now being assembled. The ball is 12 feet in diameter with more than 2,600 crystal panels. It weighs more than 11,000 pounds. There will be 3 tests for the ball drop this week.
Ooh, I would have anxiety doing that.
I know.
Black Talk, big T-shirt, Billy.
In just a few days, you'll see Armani White cap off an incredible year. The rapper dominated TikTok and radio with his single, Billie Eilish. And Saturday night, he'll take the stage for Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest. ABC's Jason Nathanson caught up with him at rehearsals. He says this is a big deal.
I think anybody with a TV in their house grew up watching New Year's Rockin' Eve. I definitely grew up watching New Year's Rockin' Eve for sure.
So what does it mean to you then to be on something like that?
Being on these are the moments that my mom doesn't really understand my career, so this is those type of moments where I get to be like, see, look, I'm doing it.
That's sweet.
That's funny.
Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest airs Saturday night on ABC. Excited for him.
Oh, so excited for him. He earned it, definitely.
Milestone.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can watch the Dick Clark New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest, followed by a special edition of Eyewitness News. It's at 9 o'clock on Saturday. We'll watch the ball drop in New York, and then it's time for Countdown Chicago with all your friends here at ABC7. It is all New Year's Eve right here on our station. We're back in 90 seconds. Stay with us.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
Well, the tea is cold. That means we're done here. Thanks so much for watching.
Somebody get her some more hot tea.
Gotta run. Phil's going to have weather. Jeremy Scott's going to have traffic. I'll have news coming up.
This has been Eyewitness News, streaming at 7. Now, an update from ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning. It's 7:56. I'm Tanya Babich. People living in a Hyde Park apartment building are waiting to find out when the power will be restored and when they can go home. The Algonquin apartments have been without electricity and heat since Friday. Some tenants say before building management offered hotel vouchers, they had to sleep in their cars. Jeremy Scott has a check on traffic now. Jeremy.
We'll do problems on the Tri-State northbound where the ramp to Ogden Avenue is blocked off. Tollway's kind of zoomed in. You can't see too much, but there's a little bit of a delay. This is on the northbound Tri-State ramp to westbound Ogden Avenue. Other than that, we are still seeing some backups on the inbound Dan Ryan right around the Stevenson. And as you are traveling on DeSable Lakeshore Drive, it's a nice drive whichever way you need to go. Phil has your forecast after a short break.
Good morning, everyone. Operation Snowmelt is about to begin as highs today will get up to 44, 52 tomorrow. Today will be the first time warmer than normal since December 15th. And if we get above 53 tomorrow night, which is quite possible, that would be the warmest we've seen all month. Slightly cooler, though, as we head through the daylight hours of Friday. Already up to 31 at O'Hare, 30 Midway, and 32 in Plainfield. There's that high of 44 degrees. 52 tomorrow, dry during the daylight hours apart from a little drizzle. Best chance of rain comes before daybreak Friday. That high of 51 happens right around 5, 6 a.m. and then temperatures fall off a bit. So a little cooler for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Highs in the lower 40s, maybe some light rain, but most of the time it will be dry.